So this is, yeah, did I just pause the video? I think I maybe finally figured out how to do it. Um, so let me just double check that. Okay, did it seem like a bunch of white stuff magically appeared? Maybe I've learned to pause. I hope so. So this is the transaction ID for the transaction that we've been kind of studying, and I was wondering what is the relationship between that transaction ID and the raw the raw byte form of the transactions, and I found a script on Stack Exchange that does this. You can ignore this line. That was the default data. But what I've put in here is the data that you would get by using Bitcoin CLI to do get raw transaction. This is the raw transaction corresponding to that transaction ID. So I want to go from the raw transaction back to the transaction ID because the transaction ID is supposed to be just the hash of the raw transaction. So how do you do it? By the way, this is a link to the source for this code, which I did not write. So they oh, that's interesting. So that this gets decoded. It seems like okay. Anyway, it gets turned into a hex somehow, I guess. And then it is SHA-256 twice to produce this hash value. And so the RPC, that's the remote procedure call for the JSON presentation. So that's the form in which we see it. This internal byte order is what's actually, in the computer memory when the blockchain is being stored. And the only difference is that the order is reversed. So let's quit this and do Python stacks blah blah blah. Okay, so this is it. So we got we've gone from the raw transaction back to the transaction ID, which is kind of cool.